Good morning, students. Myself Mubina from Vijayanagar College, Hospet, from Economics Department. Dear students, as we all have covered the 4 models of monetary economics, the remaining chapter was central banking. In this last chapter, central banking, let us know its meaning, functions and credit control of central bank. A central bank is an apex institution of the monetary system which seeks to regulate the functioning of the commercial banks of a country. The Central Bank of India is called the Reserve Bank of India, which was set up in 1935. In the monetary system of all countries, the central bank occupies an important place. Dear students, as central bank who has monopoly over the issue of currency into the economy, at the same time it supports the government in the various ways and to bring the economy into the stability. Meaning of central bank. According to Smith, the primary definition of central banking is a banking system in which a single bank has either a complete or residuary monopoly in the note issue. There are certain principles of central banking. A very first principle of central banking is the central bank is always inspired by the spirit of national welfare. Once again, I'll repeat, my dear student. There are 4 principles of central banking. The very first principle of central banking is the central bank is always inspired by the spirit of national welfare. Mean the commercial banks are generally guided almost exclusively by the profit motive. As against this, the central bank is always inspired by the spirit of national welfare. The directive principle of central bank is that it should work exclusively in the interest of public welfare. The second principle is monetary and financial stability. Another important principle of central banking is that the central bank should help in the maintenance of monetary and financial stability in the country. There are several weapons in the armory of the central bank which it can utilize for the achievements of these objectives. The third one, freedom from political influence. The central bank should remain free from political influence. In other words, it should not allow itself to be dominated by the ideology of a particular political party. On the other contrary, it should work strictly in accordance with the well-known principles of central banking. The last one, that is a 4th principle of central banking. No competition will be the member of a bank. Mean the central bank is a parent bank. Just as the parent do not compete with the children. Once again, I'll repeat, my dear students. There should be no competition with the member bank. Any bank it may be. There should be no competition according to central banking principles. The central bank should, under no circumstances, compete with the member banks in receiving deposits from the public or extending loans to the needy borrowers. These four principles of central bank are very important, which helps in the regulation, which controls the credit, which controls the competition within the bank, that is the members of bank, etc. Now let us continue the functions of central bank. The functions of the central bank differs from country to country in accordance with the prevailing economic situation. But there are certain functions which are commonly performed by the central bank in all countries. The following functions of central bank are: very first, monopoly of note issue. The issue of money was always seen by the government keeping the minting of coins with itself. The government delegated the right of printing currency notes to the central bank. In fact, the right and privilege of note issue was always associated with the origin and development of central bank, which were originally called as Bank of Issue. The central bank keeps three considerations in view as regards issue of notes, uniformity, elasticity and safety. Second, custodian of exchange reserves. The second function of central bank is custodian of exchange reserves. The central bank holds all foreign exchange reserves, key currencies such as US dollars, British pounds and other prominent currencies, gold stock, gold bullion and other such reserves in its custody. This right of the central bank enables it to exercise a reasonable control over foreign exchange. For example, to maintain the country's international liquidity position at a safe margin. The third function of central bank is banker to the government. It acts as a banker to the government. Central banks everywhere perform the function of banker, agent and advisor to the government. My dear students, once again I will repeat the third subpoint: banker to the government. Central banks everywhere performs the function of banker, agent and advisor to the government. As a banker to the government, the central bank of the country keeps the banking accounts of the government, both of the center and state, which perform the same function as a commercial bank ordinarily does for its customers. Fourth function of central bank is banker to commercial bank. The central bank acts as the banker's bank in three different capacities. A. It acts as the custodian of the cash reserve of commercial banks. Once again, I will repeat this. The fourth subpoint is banker to commercial banks. The central bank acts as the banker's bank in three different capacities. A. It acts as the custodian of the cash reserve of commercial banks. Under this, it keeps part of their cash balances as deposits with the central bank of a country, known as centralization of cash reserve, that is known as CCR, centralization of cash reserve. Part of these balances are meant for clearing purposes. Next, lender of the last resort. As a banker's bank, the central bank can never refuse to accommodate commercial banks. Any commercial bank wanting accommodation from the central bank can do so by rediscounting with the central bank. Next point, clearing agent. As the central bank becomes the custodian of cash reserve of commercial banks, it is but logically for it to act as a settlement bank or a clearing house for other banks, as all banks have the accounts with the central bank. Next subpoint, fifth, that is controller of credit. Probably the most important function of central bank is that of controlling the credit operation of commercial banks. In modern times, bank credit has become the most important source of money in the country. Regulation with the coins and currencies notes to a minor position. Next point, promoter of economic development. In developing economics, the central bank has to play a very important part in the economic development of the country, because its monetary policy is carried out with the object of serving as an instrument of planned economic development with stability. Central bank has also to develop money and capital market. So these are the functions of central bank. Yes, students, now let us know about the credit control of central bank. The chief objective of the central bank is to maintain price and economic stability. Price instability, both inflation and deflation, has harmful effects. Moreover, fluctuations in overall economic activity, that is trade cycles, entails a lot of human sufferings. Main reason for the fluctuation in prices as well as in overall economic activity is the changes in aggregate demand. Aggregate demand, especially the investment demand, depends upon the supply of money. And credit these days is the important constituent of the money supply. Thus, the supply of credit greatly affects the prices, national income and employment through changes in the investment demand. So, the commercial banks regarding supply of credit has to maintain stability in prices as well as in overall economic activity. To overcome inflation, it has to restrict the supply of credit, and to prevent or get rid of depression and deflation, it has expand the credit. It means the regulation of the creation and contradiction of credit in the economy. It is an important function of central bank of any country which has to control the credit and also look to the economic development. The credit control has 5 objectives. The main 5 objectives of credit control are: very first, stability of internal price level, checking booms and depressions, promotion of economic development, stability of the money market, and stability in exchange rates. So, very first, let us discuss about stability of internal price level. The commercial bank can create credit balance as their main task is borrowing and lending. They create credit without any increase in cash with them. This leads to increase in the purchasing power of people, which may lead to an increase in the price. Obviously, when the purchasing power increases, the price of the commodity also increases. Second sub-point, that is checking booms and depressions. The operation of trade cycle causes instability in the country. So, the objective of the credit control should be to reduce the uncertainties caused by these cycles. The central bank adjusts the operation of the trade cycles by increasing and decreasing the volume of credit. The third subpoint of objective is promotion of economic development. The objective of credit control should be to promote economic development and employment in the country. When there is a lack of money, its supply should be increased so that there should be looked for the more economic activities and where the people can get more employment opportunities. Fourth subpoint, stability of the money market. Here, the central bank should operate its weapons of credit control so as to neutralize the seasonal variations in the demand for funds in the country. It should liberalize credit in terms of financial strategies to look the things to be under stability in the money market. Last objective of credit control is stability in exchange rates. This is one of an important objective of credit control, where the credit control measures certainly influences the price level in the country. The internal price level affects the regime of export and imports of the country, which may bring fluctuations in the foreign exchange rates. My dear student, these are the 5 objectives of credit control.